Nope, do it again. Wind up doing this 50 times. What's up, YouTube? It's your boy John from Project Ellsworth, and I am back with you today to show you guys another section of my horror movie collection. Let's do it. What the hell are you pointing at? Alright, as always, I hope you guys are doing well and staying safe. Alright, first up today is a zombie movie called It Stains the Sands Red. This was a pretty cool movie, actually. Very slow burn. I mean, it's not the most exciting thing in the world, but it was actually pretty good. Alright, in the throes of the zombie apocalypse, Molly, a troubled woman from Las Vegas with a dark past, finds herself stranded in the desert with a lone ravenous zombie on her tail. At first, on her tails, very loosely. Zombies, they don't run in this movie. At first, she's easily able to outpace her undead pursuer, but things quickly become a nightmare when she realizes that the zombie doesn't need to ever stop and rest. That's actually pretty cool in this movie. Running low on supplies and beat down by the harsh environment, Molly will have to summon the strength she never knew that she had to ultimately face both the zombie and the demons that have chased her all her life. From the creators of Grave Encounters and Extraterrestrial, big word. Good job, John. It's ridiculous. It Stains the Sand Red is an action-packed apocalyptic thriller where only the strongest will survive. Really cool movie, and it's a really cool point on the back of this. It's a reasonably slow pace, and in this movie, like I said, the zombie doesn't run, but she gets tired. They're out in the heat of the desert. She gets exhausted, she gets tired, and she needs rest. But this guy doesn't. So it's actually really cool. Very different movie. Alright, these next three are quite purely and simply hot garbage. I bought these off of eBay, I think together, Lord Almighty, 15 years or more ago? More than that ago. I've lived here for almost 17 years. So it's got to be like 20 years ago I bought these movies. It is I Spit on You, I Will Dance on Your Grave. This one is called Cannibal Hookers. The next one is called Killing Spree. And the one after that is called Savage Vengeance. And these movies look like they cost about, I don't know, $19 a piece to make. These girls will do anything to get into the Zamagata Beta sorority. I don't know what the hell that says. I don't know what that is. Their intuition is to dress up as a couple of Hollywood hookers, pick up two Johns, and bring them back to the sorority. All the while, the sisters of the Zamagata Beta, who the hell gives a damn, were waiting to have a little fresh meat when they got there. There is no shortage of blood and guts in this tale of two babes lost in the bright lights of Hollywood. I don't even know that I've watched all three of these movies. I know I watched at least some of them, but I don't even know if I made it through all of any of them. They're pretty awful from what I remember. For the hell of it, one of these days I ought to just sit down and watch all these things. Like I said, these movies are about as low budget and bare bones as you can get. Tons of ridiculous blood, fake blood in these movies. That's a word I didn't need to say. Tons of fake blood in these movies, and pretty awful. This one is called Killing. The best thing about these movies is the covers. That's the best thing going for these movies. A young newlywed suspects his wife of cheating on him and decides to take matters into his own hands. In his deranged way, he goes about killing the suspected lovers one by one. Just leave her, dog. He goes about a killing spree in an unusual way, killing his victims with nothing less than a killer ceiling fan, an ordinary screwdriver, and a lawnmower. The lawnmower thing's pretty nice. He killed somebody in this movie with a ceiling fan. Clearly, I didn't watch this one. I think I'd remember that. Blah, 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 blah. Unfortunately for him, his victims don't stay dead. They, too, want some of their own savage and bloody revenge. This movie sounds ridiculous. Oh, Lord. All right, what's his last mess? All right, this cover is not nearly as good as the other two covers are. This one is Savage Vengeance. So stupid. Guy with a gun in his mouth. Alright, Jennifer just can't get away from her Start that over. It's terrible. Jennifer just can't get away from crazy psychos. After being raped 5 years ago, she is once again being hounded by some low-life characters. But these guys don't know who they're fooling with. You see gorgeous Jennifer get back at those rapists in a serious way. Some of them aren't even around anymore. She is deadly with a chainsaw. Pretty accurate with a shotgun, too. You don't need to be accurate with a shotgun. She's pretty accurate with a shotgun, too. She is an outrageous... It's an outrageous blood fest with a radical ending. I have no doubt that this is terrible. Oh, God. But just for the hell of it, I feel like I should sit down and plow through these 3 movies. I just might do that. There's a whole video idea just to get something out of these. I think that I bought all 3 of these movies, sincerely, for like $5 or $6 plus shipping off of eBay 2 decades ago. And I don't think I ever made it through all of them. Maybe I'll make it a point to do that. Alright, next up is something I recently bought from Dollar Tree called Jackals. I'm not going to read the back of this one because I'm sure I did in the other haul video. So there's that one. Here's one that I don't remember if I actually sat down and watched this movie either. This is Jack Brooks' Monster Slayer. Something tells me I did, but I can't tell you with absolute certainty whether I did or not. Ever since he watched monsters brutally slaughter his family during a childhood camping trip, local plumber Jack Brooks has had major anger management issues. But when a busted pipe disperses an ancient evil, so there's ancient evil living in pipes, Jack will unwittingly unleash a force that transforms his kindly night school professor, Robert Freddy Krueger England, into a ravenous, tentacled, infectious beast from hell. I think I've met her before. Even if Jack can no longer run from the demons of his past, he can at least hack them into pieces before they devour his entire class. Rachel Scarston from Birds of Prey and James A. Woods co-star in this over-the-top international film fest sensation that Fangoria hails as a gore-oozing homage to wild and crazy 80s horror. I sincerely think I watched this movie, but I couldn't guarantee it, and clearly I don't remember it. But I think I watched this thing. Alright, this one I just picked up like last week. Jack Goes Home. I'm pretty sure I read the back of it too, but this is short but sweet, and I will read it anyway. Jack Thurlow's world is turned upside down when his beloved father is killed in a brutal car accident. When he returns to his childhood home, Jack discovers nothing is what it seems, with devastating and terrifying results. I don't even know. This guy's father was killed in a car accident, and then he goes back to the house, and stuff ain't what it seems. That could be anything. Although, that is the woman from the Insidious movies. Alright, probably 99% of the budget was paying that chick. Alright, here's one I bought at Walmart a while back. I know this was in a haul video of mine. Jack in the Box. When a vintage Jack in the Box is unearthed and donated to a museum in the heart of the woods, that's where all the museums are, right? Just museums in the woods. It's not long before staff member Casey Reynolds has reason to believe that creepy clown doll inside has a life of its own. As Casey discovers his colleagues are dying one by one, will he find a way to end the nightmare, or will he fall victim to the box's curse? That sounds stupid, but I'll check it out at some point. Scary Jack in the Box, possessed clown. Could be cool. Sounds dumb. Alright, next up is... What the hell happened to this thing? I don't know. Case is ripped. Jacob's Ladder with Tim Robbins. I have no idea what happened to that. That's not typical for me to have that happen. I guess I will just go ahead and blame my kids or something. Alright, so I think this was like a PTSD thing. I remember watching this movie years ago, but it's been a while. The most frightening thing about Jacob Singer's nightmares is that he isn't dreaming. In this harrowing psychological thriller, Jacob Singer, portrayed by Tim Robbins, is a Vietnam vet. I knew it had PTSD something in there. Is a Vietnam vet haunted by memories of the war and the death of his young son. As Jacob starts to experience visions of demons all around him, he begins to question what is real. Is he going insane? Is he suffering from post-traumatic stress? Or could he be caught in the middle of some horrific supernatural battle that he can't understand? Directed by Adrian Lin, Jacob's Ladder takes you on a terrifying ride into the man's descent into hell. I remember this movie being really freaking creepy, but it's been years since I've watched it. I know it was a PTSD thing. I remember like there's being scenes of him being like in a bathtub filled with ice or something, and he's seeing like people with tails or something goofy like that. It's been a while since I've seen that. All right, next up is another one that was obviously very forgettable for me. I know that I watched this movie, and I don't remember this at all either. The Janitor. No recollection of what this movie was about. One would have to assume that it takes place in a school, but I couldn't say for sure. And it's got a whole lot of writing on the back that I'm not going to read. I'll just show you some pictures. And if you want to read it, you can pause it there and read it. I'm not reading this one. Looks terrible, I'm not reading it. Alright, next up, needs no explanation whatsoever. It is my 4K copy of Jaws that I received for my birthday this past summer. I watched this. It looks absolutely amazing. Jaws is a fantastic movie. I think it's one of the greatest horror movies that's ever been made. And that 4K copy of that movie is unbelievable. Next up is Jaws 2, which I now have to replace this case because I just dropped it and snapped off the inside that holds the DVD in place. Jaws 2. This movie is also fantastic, and I put this up against just about every water creature movie that's ever been out there, and it would probably top all of them, except for, damn near all of them anyway, except for possibly Jaws. Love this movie. A lot of people out there actually like that more than the original. I'm not one of them. I like the original, but I do love Jaws 2. Jaws 3 is a completely different story. Is this the one with Dennis Quaid in it? It is the one with Dennis Quaid in it. Yeah. I have seen this movie, but it's been a long time since I've watched this, and I'm in no rush to watch it again. I'm sure that burping. It's a bad habit I'm getting into. I have seen this, like I said, but it's been a lot of years. One of these days I'll plow through all these Jaws movies, but that day is not today. All right, next up is something that I don't think that I've ever seen, Jaws the Revenge. This was on sale at Walmart this past summer 2020. Yeah, 2000. Now I forgot what year it was. It's awesome. I'm sharp as a tack sometimes. Michael Caine is in this movie, I think. Yeah, he is. Michael Caine's in it. Bought this for $5 at Walmart this past summer. Is that Mario Van Peebles too? Damn right it is. Mario Van Peebles is in this movie. And Michael Caine is in this movie. And I don't know who that is. Who is that? It almost looks like Jared Leto. That can't be Jared Leto. I don't know. I've never seen this. And I can't imagine that it's going to be anywhere near as good as Jaws 1 or Jaws 2. One of these days I'll get to that. Who knows? Is there a Jaws 5? I don't know. I got to look into that. All right, next up is Jeepers Creepers. Absolutely loved Jeepers Creepers. I thought this movie was scary as hell. Very, very cool movie. What's that dude's name that's in this movie? Can't remember his name. What's his name? Justin Long. This movie was great. On a desolate country highway, two homeward bound teens. One is Justin Long and the other one is Gina Phillips. They are nearly run off the road by a maniac in a beat-up truck, and later spot the driver shoving what appears to be a body down a sewer pipe. But when they stop to investigate, they discover that the grisly reality at the bottom of that pipe is far worse than they could have ever suspected. And they are now the targets of an evil far more unspeakable and unstoppable than they could have ever imagined. This movie is great. I loved Jeepers Creepers to death. I thought it was really good. The Creeper is awesome. Such a cool horror character. Absolutely loved. I'm assuming that you, for the most part, 95% of you have probably seen that movie. But for the 5% of you who have not seen that movie, go find this and watch it. Like now. It's awesome. And to follow that up was Jeepers Creepers 2. And this movie was also very, very good. I always have images of these kids running. Yep, that image right there. Kids running through a field, the creeper flying around, like harassing them while they're on a school bus. This movie was great. Let's see. When their bus is crippled on the side of a deserted road, a team of high school athletes discover an opponent that they cannot defeat and may not survive. Starring, Lord Almighty. Staring hungrily, where now I lost my place. I'm awful at this thing called reading. Staring hungrily at them through the school bus windows, the creeper returns again and again. But when the teammate discovers that it's selective about whom it attacks, it will test their ability to stick together as the insatiable menace tries to tear them apart. I think that this movie is pretty outstanding, and I actually know somebody personally that likes this movie more than the original. I'm not one of those guys. I like the original, which is usually the case. I almost always like the original. Most of the time, you have your whole life to come up with the idea for an original film or original thought or a band's first album. You know what I'm getting at. And then you have to follow that up, which is a lot of pressure, and it's not that easy. I think they did a really good job at following up Jeepers Creepers with the sequel, but I like the original movie more. The second one's great, the original one's better, in my opinion. Alright, so then it goes way off the rails, and they put out Jeepers Creepers 3. I watched this as soon as I could get this in front of my eyes, and was extremely disappointed in this movie. I don't really even remember it all that well. I remember being very turned off by this because of my love for the first two. This was just a bummer for me. Alright, on the last day of the Creeper's 23-day feeding frenzy, skeptical Sergeant Tubbs teams up with a task force hell-bent on destroying the Creeper for good. The Creeper fights back in glory... Lord. The Creeper fights back in gory glory as the enemies grow closer than ever before to learning the secret of its dark origins. This movie sucked. I did not like this movie at all, and I know at some point I'm going to review all three of those movies too. I have a whole lot of movies to review. I'll be doing this until I'm in a box probably. But I know with absolute certainty if they make like 10 more of those movies, the part 3 will probably come in 13th. This movie's not good at all. For me anyway, I didn't like it. All right, and the last one this week is Andy Garcia and Uma Thurman in Jennifer 8. I think I saw this movie too, but it's been a hell of a long time since I've seen this. Let's go. Uma Thurman from Kill Bill Volumes 1 and 2, Be Cool, and Paycheck ignites the role of Helena in this. Yeah, that's it. It's very difficult for bad eyes to read red writing on a black cover. In this tightly coiled mystery about a serial killer. As the trail of unidentified female victims continues, the police give them the code name of Jennifer. Helena is the key to solving the string of gruesome killings. The only problem is she's completely blind. That's a bonus. I remember that. I do remember that. Thurman teams with Andy Garcia from Ocean's 11 and Ocean's 12, who plays John Berlin, the detective who finds her and who also later becomes a suspect. Can anyone rely on the testimony of a blind witness? And will the young, vulnerable Helena become the next Jennifer? This John Malkovich and Lance Hendrickson and Kathy Baker co-star in the suspense film that provided a breakthrough role for Thurman. With its fine acting and surprise ending, it's no surprise Jennifer 8 is a 10. So stupid. My God. All right, so I'm pretty sure I watched that one too, but it's been, again, a very long time since I've watched it. I barely remember that. I do remember Uma Thurman being blind in a movie, though, so if it wasn't that one, she's got another one. I don't know. I don't think that she's famous for her blind acting. All right. That's it. I'm going to get out of here. If you guys like this video, please give me a thumbs up. If you really like this video and you've been enjoying my content up to this point, and my blathering and stammering and all that other crap and burping, please do me a huge favor. Click that subscribe button and ring that bell. Take care of yourself. Take care of each other. Have a kick-ass day. And thank you for watching. Have a great weekend, everybody. Later.